Well, we'll turn to George of the Jungle. A couple of loincloth questions. Can we just get those out of the way first?
Indulge yourself, I
right.
insist.
How often were people asking for having one of those as a souvenir, and are you a little concerned that they might show up in Planet Hollywood somewhere?
Well, I would actually be honored to hang up the loincloth at Planet Hollywood. I have every intention of doing that, come to think of it. And that it's a good thing they were printed in fashionable cheetah print. Certainly it's suitable jungle attire.
Well, how often were people coming up to you and saying, "Can I have a pair of those?" After
They'd
you're
have
done
to
with
reckon
it?
with Lisa Jensen, our designer. She kept a pretty tight inventory on the butt flaps.
Right. I read the press notes after I saw the film. I had no idea that a lot of those sets were interiors. When you first walked in and saw those sets, how impressed were you?
I was awe-inspiring, literally thinking, I have this huge jungle gym to play with. and everything was practical. Waterfalls, textured environments, hills, the tree house, and of course the physics involved with that system of pulleys that transported George swinging along his vine, which was a lot of fun, by the way. I was just, I was so happy to be a part of this process, to effectively create a live-action cartoon, to translate what Jay Ward set out with George of the Jungle and his subversive political agenda, while at the same time spoofing all things Tarzan, a satire, and bringing that up to speed with filmmakers and the sensibility of creating a cinematic experience, and the sense of fun and play certainly was reflected in the sets, our wardrobe and our costumes, and also the subject matter.
I gotta be honest. When I heard the idea of a big screen version of George's Jungle, my expectations were pretty low. I wasn't expecting a whole lot, and this is kind of like a Pee-wee Big Adventure of the '90s. It was very, very clever. Were you ever concerned that they were going to be able to pull it off?
I had faith in the production values. I mean, certainly, this film's created in a tradition of a Disney family film. So, in this case, certainly we're able to reintroduce a new generation to George of the Jungle. And these are the kids, and then of course their parents will remember him from the cartoons. And the fun and irreverent wackiness that went along with that could only work in its favor. I was glad to be a part of it.
It's amazing to see like the Disney publicity machine come out with a new film and all the awareness when a new movie comes out. Are kids recognizing you yet in regards to this film?
Well, since I've cut my hair, I think I probably have another 10 minutes or so. But I think they'll be on the way.
Yeah. Well, somebody was saying that you were shooting an interview in Central Park recently, and that the kids were recognizing you. Did that surprise you at all?
That was yesterday. No, not at all. I mean, I'm recognizable to someone under 3 feet tall. Oh, it's the big guy.
Okay. Now, well, turning to the swinging scenes,
yeah.
what was a bad take with the swinging scenes?
If I missed the tree, it was a bad take, normally.
Well, what kind of things were going on just out of camera range with those scenes?
Going on out of camera range, gosh.
I mean, it looked very simple when you're swinging there, but I know things must have been going on. How many technicians? What kind
Quite
of?
an involved process. Bob Harmon's aerial effects created our ability to transport George from A to B and smash him into trees safely. Sometimes they were jokers. They very often would let out about 5 feet of line just to see if I was awake that morning. Make my toes curl. Thanks, guys. But we had great fun, and they worked with exacting accuracy, and of course safety was always a concern. It's really no more dangerous than, I suppose, swinging from a mountain climbing harness, but very often I didn't even rely on the harness. I was too busy white knuckling, staying on.
And final question about the yell when you got cast for it. Did you practice that in front of the mirror with no one
Anyone
around?
can do it. Just squeeze them together and scream. It's that simple.